This is Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We are at the National Association of Counties Convention in Long Beach, California, in Los Angeles County, and we are joined by the CEO of Los Angeles County. Her name is Sachi Hamai. Congratulations on having NACO in your home county, and mine too. I live in LA County.
And we are just thrilled to have this conference here today.
I want to talk to you about an issue that is facing not just LA County, but the other 58 counties in our state, or 57, as well as the nation. And that's the question of homelessness. You know, here we are in Long Beach, beautiful community. This is a revitalized area, and we see homeless people walking around. In my community in West Los Angeles, we didn't have homeless people, and we do. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. What are we seeing?
Very much, Brad, and I think that's the trend that we're seeing today, but we know that each and every day in Los Angeles County, more and more individuals are falling into homelessness. The 2016 homeless count identified that the numbers went up by approximately 5% from last year. Our numbers are about at 47,000 individuals who are homeless today.
And what's upsetting when you look at those numbers, so it was up 5% last year, 12% the year before. I mean, we're approaching 50,000 homeless, and look, we're now the homeless capital of America. It's not New York, it's not Miami, it's LA County.
Absolutely, and it is unacceptable. The trend that I think that we're seeing is that when maybe 10 years ago, the homeless individuals were mainly in downtown Los Angeles, but what's happening today, and I think exactly what you're talking about, is that the individuals are now moving out to our communities, out to the various cities, and the encampments are being set up. Individuals are now living in their cars on the streets in neighborhoods.
And let's talk about those encampments. There was one maybe a mile and a half from my home, right off the Expo line, the new Expo line. It was a mini city, literally, and right in the midst, right near Sawtelle, you know, Japantown.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, a tremendously vibrant area, and then there's an encampment. And I saw people getting angry about it, but then I saw people feeling badly about it. Ultimately, it was removed. What do we do?
But this is what's happening all throughout the county, Brad. And so I think that our Board of Supervisors in 2015 took really aggressive actions, and they identified a team of individuals who began working not just internally with the county, but we went out to the 88 cities and got our community partners together. We put together 47 strategies, and let me just very quickly talk about the 47 strategies that we put together. They fall into 6 areas, and if I can, I'm just going to go through really quick the 6 major strategies. So number 1 is to prevent homelessness. We want to ensure those individuals who are on the margins of falling into homelessness don't fall into homelessness. So that's our first strategy. Number 2, increased income, trying to ensure those who need temporary employment or some kind of long-term sustained employment are assisted. The other thing is reaching out to the veterans and ensuring that the veterans are receiving the benefits that they so deserve.
I want to interrupt. That's the third one, correct?
That's the second one.
I got to interrupt about veterans,
Absolutely.
Though. If there is any bright spot in this picture, it is veterans.
Absolutely.
And it's not just in LA County, but I'll take credit for it as a LA County resident. You look at the numbers of veterans that are facing homelessness dropping. They're dropping in LA County. I mean, in 2015, there were 4,400. In 2016, there were 3,000. This is a success story.
It went down by about 30%. We put money towards the veterans, and that's where you could see the results. Now, this is just a 1-year trend, and we hope it's sustained. We'll see next year when the homeless count comes out again. But again, when we talk about where we put money into the housing. We put money into efforts going out to the veterans so that they could get their benefits.
What are the other 4 areas?
Very quickly, number 3, affordable housing, ensuring that there's enough affordable housing. A lot of dialogue, a lot of talk about how are we going to get there.
And I mean, we both smile because we know this is a challenge that is so dramatic. We know there's going to be a state bond on the ballot, rejiggering Prop 63 funds. But when you say the word affordable housing, you think about affordable housing for low-income folks, but there are folks that are not low-income that can't afford housing.
Exactly.
And so it becomes a loaded question. I mean,
Right.
the real estate values are rising in Los Angeles County. Rental rates are rising. Some Section 8 vouchers don't even cover what you need.
Absolutely. So that moves us into the next category, subsidized housing. That means we are trying to ensure that individuals who may need some kind of bridge housing, in other words, they're coming out of some type of institutional facility, may need bridge housing until they could get back on their feet. Other areas might be families who are being reunified. Maybe they need temporary housing. So we're looking at subsidized housing. The other two areas, one is case management. So individuals who may need mental health services, substance abuse services are receiving those types of.
Can we talk about that before we get to the
sure.
six? I want to talk.
Well, let me just talk.
Go.
You know what? Let me just say the last one because it ties into the fifth one. The last one is really about having a coordinated system and making sure that the individual, when they come into our system, that they aren't alone. So in other words, if they need temporary housing, we're providing that housing. If they need the services like mental health, substance abuse, they are also receiving those, and it's coordinated, and they have somebody who works with them to help them go through the system so they aren't on their own.
I want to talk about case management because
Absolutely.
there's no doubt that we are looking at case management differently. 10 years ago, if you're not sober, you're not coming in.
Right.
We've changed that approach.
Absolutely.
10 years ago, the relationship between law enforcement and homeless, very touchy. Now there's a concerted effort to treat homeless differently. But the question becomes, some homeless don't want case management. They just don't.
And you can't force them.
Right, and so what do we do in that situation with service-resistant folks?
But I will tell you, we have, in the county, have put together these really great teams. It's both with law enforcement, mental health, housing authority, and they go out and they talk to individuals, and it may not be the first time, it may not be the second time, it may not be the third time, but perhaps on the fourth time, there's interest by the individual. And I will say firsthand, I'm a runner. I have gone through the streets of Los Angeles. There's a couple that I kept passing every single day. I started outreaching to them, asking them, do they need some kind of assistance? No, no, no. And then one day it was, well, maybe.
Wow.
So I brought out a team. So it may not work the first time and we can't give up. That's the thing.
Let me ask you. So I was walking into the convention center and I saw a man who was homeless. I had an extra piece of pizza.
Yes.
And I gave it to him. Is that the right thing to do? I'm conflicted because I hear on the one hand, you really should refer them to services, you don't want to give money, but help.
Well, I think that, there's that compassionate side in all of us. And so, we do what we can, but the reality is that we need to have these coordinated systems with our communities.
And so how can we get involved if we want to? Angelinos are compassionate people. I feel it.
Right.
My friends say to me, I want to help, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Do we call our churches our temples? What do we do?
And good. I was just moving into that. We have been talking to our faith-based organizations as well as our community partners. We did a first ever summit of our mayors, all 88 cities. That has never been done before, to talk about the types of services that we could collectively bring to each city and the unincorporated areas.
Her name is Sachi Hamai. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the great county of Los Angeles, where we are today at the National Association of Counties Convention. My name is Brad Pomerance, Charter Local Edition.